All right. We are back here with some more MCP. About to be going into round 3 here. Don't care, won't use, no. Not enough real estate on the screen, Reno. But that pinned link up at the top of chat will bring you the Longshanks link for this event, which will have most people's rosters in them. Tomorrow, every roster will, in fact, be in the Longshanks. But taking a look at said Longshanks, let's see where people are, if there's been any upsets, and take a progress report of some of our favorites. So, looks like our 2-0s. We have Todd Ensley, Brian Terwilliger, and this is the last chance qualifier. Yes, Gray 130, Joel Jackson, Gregory Shad, Rhino, Jason Peterson, David Ferris, Immortal Joe,
looks like
Jonah from Ligma Protocol, fantastic group name, Barbarjonks from the Arizona Avengers.
Looks like Eric Small is on there as well. He's not tagged as an Arizona Avenger, but looks like he won round 2 as well.
So
our feature winner from round 1.
Nate Horn also from the Juicy Al's Juicy Pals. And Cuddly Panda will round out the 2-0s in addition to Brent Carl, who we just saw from also Juicy Al's Juicy Pals. Geek City Games, Brent. Brandon King Arthur from Evolution Gaming, and Roger Morris.
So 18 people at 2-0 right now. So that'll probably get us down. Well, I don't know, I guess. That'll get us down to about 4 at the end of 5 rounds. So certainly a chance for people with 1 loss right now to get in there.
Looks like some other folks that we've been paying attention to. Jeremy Constance, who we met last year, is 1-1. Pork Roll Protocol folks, looks like we have Alyssa 0-2. Same with Kane from our neck of the woods. Let's take a look at Nick and see where he ended up, if he's still in as well. And welcome back. Nick Cora, unfortunately, also 1-1 and a drop. So they're probably going to go do some dope stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing here, you know.
There's plenty you can do, yeah.
Lots, for real. And then let's take a look over at the affiliation battle standings so far. Just take a quick peek here at chat while we have that up. See how he did that one, King of PCN Richie. See how he didn't read my comment slightly above that one. Chat has not been on screen for the last couple minutes.
It's true.
Because King Richie certainly didn't.
We were on break. He walked away. I don't know how to use these mute buttons, so he just when Tim says don't talk and pushes a button, I just listen.
So I did look at and laugh at that Tim just left to steal all the mints people leave in the urinals. But 5 rounds today, actually. We'll be going 5 rounds. So taking a look over at the affiliation battle, let's see where we're at. I think round 2 just ended. And here are the current standings. Jeremiah England in first. Alexander from the Silicon Valley Syndicates, also 2-0. Sentinels, that is a 2-0 Sentinels player with Alexander. Whew.
Yeah.
If I can't read on a good day.
Yes.
But that makes me so happy. Let's take a look at his roster. So if you were looking at people's rosters or wanted to, you can do that on the Longshanks. Looks like it's not loading for me currently. But Mike Dambois over from the Pork Roll Protocol Fellers is also 2-0 with some Guardians. Vince Kirchhoff, 2-0 with Shield. Zach Cohen, 1-1 with Web Warriors, running Web Warriors. All right. Normally a heavy Guardians player. We had Zach on after he won 2nd win this year on Wait, Did I Roll a Wild? So if you didn't know, we do a whole number of podcasts from WFRP 4th Edition Actual Play, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Shatterpoint, Marvel Crisis Protocol. You can find that all at professionalcasual.com. In addition to Arachne, an Infinity podcast, and the newly recent podcast to join the network, Beards, Ears, and Skulls, a Warhammer The Old World podcast. Okay. So it looks like we're getting some people on the thing here.
He sucks so bad. He's such a bad person.
So,
because I rode up here with Todd.
all right. So we have another person from the Arizona group, one of Cliff Jumper's buddies here. And looks like he's going to be going up against Nate Horn. Nate Horn, we also saw last year at LVO.
Other tab.
Oh, a different one. Yep, last chance. So let's head over to the verses here. Let's get it to round 3. Doesn't look like it's super up yet, but we'll be there shortly. But Nate won last year on stream at LVO and did a little interview and stuff afterwards. I believe Nate is part of the Alfredo Size 3 Choco Truck group, which always a good group to see. Vincent Kirchhoff as well. But let's get down to the game screen so we can get this up. Normally we see Nate running some X-Men. Not sure what we'll see today. Let's see if his...
You will notice we did have a change in our game table here as well.
All right, so we got Nate Horn and Barbarjonks.
We could probably try to get a real name once Taylor's.
Listen, that's what they're registered for in Longshanks. And listen, if you put a handle in Longshanks, it's my understanding that that's what you would like to go by.
There we go. All right.
So, and while the handle for Nate Horn is Ghost Deer, I think he's known more by Nate Horn. First of his name. Why the change? Not of ownership. I know why that happened.
It took 2 rounds of commentary. I went from a producer to just the king of the network.
Listen, happens to the best of us, I guess.
No, just me. It happened to just me.
Okay. And come on, Nate. Why does your name not want to work? Let's refresh that bad boy. Boom. Oh, why is it down here? That was a weird flex. Streamlabs. Okay, we're back on round 1.
And can we see what they might be bringing with them? Are their lists up on the Longshanks? Or
I was trying to load that. It did look like... Let's go boom, boom. But it looks like they'll be pretty quick. Shockingly, I see a Beta Ray Bill out there. But
I'm just really hoping we don't see a Cosmic Ghost Rider.
I mean, if you want to keep that big Chuck Caw of the game intact, I mean, you almost kind of have to.
Much like I wanted my MCP record and my MCP Big Chuckers to both be 1-0 undefeated.
That's super fair. It looks like we have priority here. And I'm seeing 2. So our Eyes in the Skies is gone.
No, you just...
As always.
You went to grab some waters. Oh, he's getting waters for the players.
Oh, what a good dude. So it actually looks like Barbarjonks is going to be running some Web Warriors.
Web Warriors, all right. And again, we have no interest in finding out his real name.
Nate Horn from Alfredo Size 3 Taco Truck and Barbarjonks from Cliff Jumpers area.
Is he not in the Arizona Avengers?
He might be. LCQ Game 3. I am ready. Okay, so we have Cube and Meteors. Oh, look at that. Nate Horn and Barbar. All right, I'm not going to miss. Oh, I did miss it again. I'm going to get the Web Warrior on this pass. Guys, we're going to make it. We're going to make it happen.
Go team.
I think it's soon. After Magneto? Oh, that was victory points I was changing.
Yep, give him some points.
There we go. Barbar starting with a couple extra.
Did we got the... did we get the...
Yes, we have Struggle for the Cube continues as the extract, and Deadly Meteors mutate civilians for the Securas. I think it's called the Boston Jammer. Cops probably mildly threatened. Oof. Any chance you can post the rosters to the bottom of the screen? No. They are on the Longshanks, though, if you want to take a look.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you can see, the real estate kind of...
Yeah, just not something where we're working on all sorts of UI stuff to be able to have cards and crisis and stuff on screen. We're just not there yet. Nate drawing webs for a stream game gives me a perverse sense of joy. Why is there a wall in the middle of a 4-way section? I don't know. We didn't set this one up.
So this is definitely going to be... So I'm guessing this is going to be 17 threats.
It's a no-fly zone. Your Beta Ray Bill, who would have thunk it? Do we know what Nate's playing? X-Men? Okay. I had an overwhelming feeling that that's what we would see. I think most of the big conventions we go to, when we go to Adepticon, when we go to LVO, I think we've had Nate on pretty regularly.
All right.
Incredibly talented player.
All right.
Okay. Oh, gold even. Does look like X-Men. Thank you, and oh hey. Baby girl.
Juice Pals, let's go.
Okay, so it could go Weapon X as well. Juicy Juice Pals, let's go. The Sweepy Man coming. Actually, Tisdale, in Boston, they just call it Jammer. Makeshift barricade. Yeah, so we're going to have some X-Men versus some Web Warriors here. And Nate's an incredibly skilled X-Men player. We've seen him a bunch. We haven't seen Barbarjonks before. So whether that Web Warrior matchup is going to be as devastating as it kind of feels like it should be for Nate, we simply don't know.
Where is Nate ranked among X-Men players? Is he?
So I don't know offhand. Is that a trivia question you happen to know?
I wish that was an MCP fact I had.
It's not super easy to look up on Longshanks, especially while we have so many other processi going on.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's available. I'm sure it's information that someone could figure out or discern. So if we wanted to look for...
Don't you have him open somewhere? Oh, no, you closed those.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't show.
It doesn't show on there.
It doesn't show on their profile, no.
That would be too convenient and easy for us.
Nate is currently number one.
There
So
we go.
I assumed he would have been, but just not great at the old long shankles. All right, R11X Wobjak is Ivan.
By a single point. So did that just happen in his last win, or is this?
So
does it not get calculated?
That's a great question. So I believe this is a rated event.
But are the ratings like live?
Yes.
Did he move? So he moved into first. So this is his first game as the number one, and we got it
right here.
We got it.
It is a rated tournament. Yes. So after every round, there could be some drastic shakeups in the MCP standings.
Absolutely. Man,
oh, he swapped his crisis up specifically for the Webs matchup. Well,
interesting. So we're going to see how that works out here.
All right, we have Nate's roster here.
All right. Nate is bringing X23.
Great pick.
Domino. Storm.
All right.
I don't know if you're making fun of me. Dr. Voodoo. And Rhino.
This is an interesting setup. Okay, and what do we got for tactics cards?
Sacrifice.
It's the old sack.
First class. To me, my X-Men. Mission objective. And this is a robbery.
Love to see it.
All right, so we're halfway to my big chucker.
And Barbar.
Hopefully this won't ruin it. Toad. Spectacular Spider-Man Peter Parker.
Really? So this will be our first Spec Spider-Man I think we've seen on stream.
Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Miles is the leader.
Moon Knight. Black Cat. And Ghost Spider.
And the old Ghost Spider.
And then tactics, no matter the cost.
No matter.
Mission objective. Advanced R&D. All webbed up. Don't
Absolutely.
know what to do. And the cat and the spider.
Cat and spider. All right, this should be a pretty good matchup, especially if Nate has moved some things around. Rhino in X-Men. I'm actually kind of curious about. Especially with this as Robbery. Now, granted, we are running on Cosmic Cubes, which can be a heavy source of power. Each one of those Cosmic Cubes not only giving you one victory point during the cleanup phase, but also deals you one damage and you gain a power. No billless game. Our first billless game of the day.
Yeah.
Now, granted, since we've seen 3 bills so far over 2 games, I think we're still averaging out to 1 bill per session.
You're getting really good at math. We're all very impressed.
Thank you, man. I've been working on it for a long time.
So we're looking at I'm looking at these lists and what we've got out here, and Spider-Foes does have that 1-man advantage there. How does that kind of play into how you? We've seen even the other 2 matchups. How does that play into?
So that's a great question. So there's a couple things that kind of play with that. So if you're running kind of a wider list, you're going to have more activations in a round, right? That's more actions, that's more attacks. Now, what that also means is that you will probably not be getting priority back. The first person to go in each round is always the person that did not go last in the last round. So at least until some of those spider heads get pulled off, Web Warriors very specifically has a lot of displacement, a lot of pushes, a lot of throws, a lot of webbing people off of stuff or back onto things. So it's very much a kind of a coordinated assault, a dance, if you will, about movements and positioning. But having more characters means you have more of that. Granted, they're going to be a little bit weaker, and with characters like Rhino on the other side, going to throw you around a little bit as well.
Absolutely.
This is a Robbery very specifically, being a tactics card, where Rhino can pick up and hurl somebody range medium if they are holding an objective, and when he does, they also drop that objective. Though on the other side, we also have Black Cat for the Web Warriors, who has an action that she can take. It's one of her superpowers, where she can just yoink an objective off of somebody, and she's a long mover and has stealth, which means she can't be targeted within range 3, so she can get out of danger pretty quick.
Gotcha. Chad's very excited that Bill, Dynamo, and CGR have not made it to this table.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of our more unique matchups.
It will be, and good to see him. We have had 0. So in round 3, we have had 0 replications of affiliations.
Yeah. Like we've been saying, real healthy, you can certainly pick an affiliation that you like and be competitive with it.
Well, just looking at the breakdown, now granted, not everyone's MCT codes are in here, but actually seems like a lot of Defenders and a lot of Guardians, a lot of Web Warriors, and then you get into Avenger, or A-Force actually being above Avengers. Only 5 Avengers players. Granted, not completely accurate. No Dark Dimension, no Sentinels, Wakanda, X-Force, or an affiliated, but you'll have that on the big jobs.
It just seems, I don't know, the disrespect for Wakanda, I don't know. They seem so strong to me.
All right, first pass being played on the first turn. That means you're going to be picking up some cubes for free for Nate.
And again, when we say no Wakanda, we have 32 of the 74 players lists that are coded. All the lists will be coded tomorrow, so we will have. We don't want to lean too much on the stats for this, since we do have less than half.
Yes.
But we'll have everything, and we'll be able to look more at that tomorrow during the invitation. So there may be some Wakanda in here.
Well, Wakanda's due for a glow-up Q1 of this year, where they're going to have a new pack release with 2 new leaders and kind of a bunch of new toys to play with. So that was an X-23 Storm Hop off of Storm with first class, off of Voodoo, sorry, thank you, to grab that center cube and then use her second action to move back into relative comfort. Sweepy Man coming, wants Nate to win. Nate usually somewhat of a favorite. Yeah.
As we said, #1 X-Men player. That doesn't happen by accident. He knows his way around this team, so it is a tougher matchup, but he's put some stuff in there to improve that, and we'll see if that's what makes the difference.
Absolutely. And I think this will be our, if Nate ends up winning this will be our 3rd interview with Nate at some of these bigger events.
That would put me and Nate tied for a number of times on commentary, or on the mic.
Yeah. All right, so we get a move from Toad up. He tongue punches that cube, is able to pull it back from range 2, and then moves back to relative safety. I wonder if he goes bold and goes for a dive. Yeah, let's see. Toad certainly didn't. But it's back to Nate and the X-Men.
Now the cube, with the cubes here, so now we've got a lot of ways to score on the board with these 5 cubes. Do you expect this game to go a little quicker with the number of people on here and the number of objectives? Or
I do think it'll go a little bit quicker, mostly in part because we're playing 17 threat over 20.
Yep.
So able to score a little bit quicker, and we don't have parity as far as models on the field. So we will see kind of a consistent showing from the X-Men about having priority at the start of the round. So Storm is going to grab a cube off the back line. And she will move back once again behind the LVO America. Excuse you.
And the cubes. And the cubes are also going to, they are damaging you, but they are giving you power as well, generating that. So,
have you guys looked into expanding the HUD to include the tactics cards, characters, powers? Yes, we absolutely have, Deaton. It's something that we were working on. We're hoping to have it up and good by Adepticon, with a very realistic goal of before WTC.
There's a lot going on in this game.
Yeah,
it's hard to, it's hard to get everything that we would love to have there.
Correct, and have it work.
Yeah, having it work as well.
All right, so it looks like that is a spectacular Spider-Man moving up, grabbing a cube. Oh, not picking the cube up. Also, Dean, how are you, man? Are you here? I know I saw Mike. And a pass from Nate Horn. Yeah, ideally what we'd like are slide out windows that you can click on if you want to see full rosters and stuff like that. With this event not being MCT coded, I am not. LVO is nuts. Well, that's a shame, but I'm sure we'll see you at Adepticon, I would assume. Okay, so Cat and a Spider to get Black Cat up is able to grab that back point. So that is a nice dive with Cat and a Spider. She will take a damage from the Meteor though as she obtains it. And then goes and gets. Interesting with the move back. With the stealth, I don't know if you would want to stay on that point just to make it harder to flip back. How does Deadly Meteors flip? With the interact.
When you interact, you roll dice equal to their defense.
Energy defense.
Energy defense. If it contains more hits or hit results than number of healthy enemy characters contesting this origin bomb, the character's controlling player now controls this origin bomb. And if it contains at least one skull, you take one.
Okay.
Hits, crits, and wilds. Sorry.
So hits, crits, and wilds does it. So effectively, you just need to get up there and roll any of them with no contesting character there.
But if you do roll a skull, regardless, you're going to take one. You're going to take 1 damage. So there's a lot of things doing damage.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of damage for victory points in this one. So
very much so. So that'll be Domino done with a Cosmic Cube. Storm also has a cube. Miles with a cube. Toad has a cube. And lucky number 5 is X-23. Gotcha. Rhino does, yeah, so Rhino could have gotten there within the run around, that's fair. And it also forces him to have to take that one this round, even though he's up on Cosmic Cubes, Nate is. Forcing those actions to make sure he could easily deny that that Meteor. Does Meteor still score more if you have all three or something like that?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Just one for each?
One for each.
I'm Barbar's biggest fan, so he wins this, obviously. I'm Hex. Welcome. Nice to see people on both sides cheering for the players here. And looks like Rhino gets it without taking the damage. So still that middle point is uncontested, as well as the back line for Barbarjonks. Tease, WTF is this game? This is called Marvel Crisis Protocol. We are in the last chance qualifier at LVO 2024. All of these contenders are trying to get one of those last handful of spots for the invitational that starts tomorrow. Personally, I am cheering for Damamu. Phil, I would be disappointed if you weren't. Taylor, I will. Phil, Taylor says he loves you. All right, looks like they get Ghost Spider gets that back point and does not take damage from it, and passes the clock back over to Nate. Rhino is an honorary X-Men in this game. Yeah, absolutely, Tease. So LVO is the culmination of a number of conventions and events that happen throughout the year. People qualifying and getting their invitational tickets to come here to the Rio in Las Vegas, Nevada, to duke it out with all of the other qualified contenders for the MCP crown.
Absolutely, and some have waited until the last minute here to qualify, so we've got this last chance qualifier. But if you are looking to qualify for LVO 2025, events will be firing throughout the year, culminating next January. So make sure to look for those, so you can come out here and enjoy everything that LVO in Las Vegas has to offer.
That's right. Similar to that middle Meteor point, which has a lot more to offer, as Dr. Voodoo not only failed to pick it up, but also rolled the skull and took a damage from it. Moon Knight got a blank. I believe that gives him more power.
So these bombs and these cubes are gonna chip away at a lot of health here. So,
Rona Daddy, thank you for the follow.
maybe it's Ron A. Daddy.
Maybe it's Ronald A. Daddy.
He's Ron and he's a daddy.
Dorm Daddies will be returning to Ironveld. Love to see it. Nice Zamboni. I need my boy Joel Jackson to get some more dubs. Let's go, Joel. Once again, the Longshanks for this event is right there at the top of chat if you do want to check in on one of your favorite players.
Absolutely.
And Moon Knight takes the center with the 2 hits, taking it over a contesting Dr. Voodoo. There's only one doctor that's crazier than Moon Knight, and it's the other Moon Knight.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
One thing too, again, when we were talking earlier about Web Warriors having that extra person, with this just damage pinging out all over the place, just having a little more health to take that type of damage.
Rona Daddy. So that's a spot on name.
You got it. Okay.
I got very lucky. Our youngest was born the August before August 2019. So we missed it by that much.
My youngest was born July 2019.
And that is going to end round 1, 4-4.
All right. So we've got a close one. Yeah, look, there's 8 points out there, and there's less contesting of them, really. It's just being in control of them.
Yeah, well, that first round, because trying to grab all those cubes, you're going to get spread out a little bit, and then you're hunkering down on some of the points that you're really going to need to be on. But in Swear Dry, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. This was not a stream where I was expecting to see my raid team. It's kind of dope. Oh, speaking of, I don't think I ever shared this in my own raid team. Should have done that. All right, looks like we're getting some commitment here from Nate. Believe that is a domino behind that statue. To me, my X-Men. Text card use here from Nate. This is going to let anyone that wants to spend some power to move towards the leader of the X-Men able to do so. With Storm being kind of centralized there, this gives kind of a nice little reclamation for people that were kind of out in the wings grabbing those Cosmic Cubes in the first round. And
we got a statue down.
Nobody saw it. How many rounds are you streaming tomorrow? There will be 3 rounds tomorrow. I believe 3 rounds tomorrow, 3 rounds Sunday. Sunday.
And we will have a Las Vegas Open Invitational champion.
I'm Hex. I don't really MCP, more of a Legion player, but I'll watch. Nice. Domino into... Okay, just Domino for the To Me, My X-Men. Throwing a grenade into Moon Knight. So because you can't crit against Domino, that crit does not count. So it looks like 1 going through. 1 going through. And the Incinerate goes off on that as well. And now we have some rapid fires going into a weakened Moon Knight with that Incinerate. Only rolling 2 defense dice here. Oh, great start. Showing 3 with a crit. Why not 4?
Pair of skulls. All right, we got 1.
So 3 more. That's going to be leaving Moon Knight on 1. He did get the rapid fire, so he is going to go again. This should bring down the enemy Moon Knight.
Yep.
Oh,
Just 1.
And it doesn't. Oh, paying for the skull. So those count as crits, which turns that into 3. Domino all about probability manipulation. Bad luck's her good luck.
Aha.
So you cannot crit against her, and she can also pay a power to count skulls as crits. As crits, so they even explode and get more dice too.
Wow.
All right, so that is Moon Knight Dazed. I was supposed to be at LVO, but your flight got screwed up. That sucks, man.
There's a lot of weather going on.
There was.
Around the country right now.
Very much so.
I think everyone we've talked to has had a travel flight screw up story.
Yeah.
At some degree.
It's weird being this far away from you. I can't hear what you're saying most of the time, so I have to turn up my headset. So I was like, I think I keep talking over him, but
no, the noise canceling is real good because I'm looking at the level and it says I'm louder than you. I yell a lot.
Yeah, speaking deeply and directly into the mic is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Jay Freligo, sorry to hear that. Yeah. What's the crisis being played? Riddlesworth. We are on cubes and meteors.
Struggle for the cube and deadly meteors.
Hey, Smadix, thank you for the sub. 4 months. Really appreciate your support. It allows us to come to these events and have this coverage.
Excited to try and hit a lot of MCP events this year. Absolutely.
Hell yes.
As we said, you've got a year to qualify for LVO 2025, and if not, you can come here and play in this event.
It's true. So it looks like Spectacular Spider-Man tried to flip that Northern Meteor, did unfortunately fail it, but didn't take damage from it either. And having a swinging strike into Rhino. And Rhino will take just 1 from it after his Rhino hide. He does have an appearance here, or an ability here to aggressive if you would like. He'll also gain 2 power from that 1 damage dealt, because he's ornery. Anytime Rhino takes damage without dazing or KOing, he gets an additional power for it.
Does he get more ornery in like the 4th or 5th round of the day? Because I find that's what happens with me.
So I think that's more of what it is. It's an accelerated Nope, I'm not going to make those words work at all.
Well, we tried.
Accelerated ornery timeline.
Yeah.
He starts the day ornery.
Ornithologic.
Ornithological.
Is the logical.
Attacking Rhino there was a little bit of an odd choice. But maybe just chumping the jump up before he packs a wallop. All right, so we do have a claw rush here going into Spider-Man, and it is popping.
Oh, wow.
5 with a pierce. Converting at least 1 over. He can reroll the skull.
Got all 3.
But with the pierce, 1 will turn to a blank, but still on 1. Defense success. Against a pierce, still somehow blocking 2 is what the Web Warriors are about.
Yeah.
So he'll only take 3 from that. And then she does get a medium movement, I believe, after this.
So that is a strange flavor choice to have someone get gored,
Very much
but
so.
it doesn't pierce them.
And that'll be X23. Is it just a claw rush and nothing else? Gotcha. Gotcha. So move, spender, move. Real blunt horn on his head. Yeah, they kind of capped him. They put one of those like little gold bells on it, like an elephant tusk. All right,
Keep
Miles.
slamming it into buildings and cars. Yeah. So.
We got a web swing from Miles, which means his next kick is gonna 6 dice into X23. Could have a throw off this as well. He doesn't get the wild yet, but he has 2 crits. Let's see if he converts. He does 1, but no wild. Only 1 die on the defense. So 2 into X23. X23 doesn't have a ton of health, but she has an assassin reroll on both attacks and defense, and also fast healing. So she can be difficult to bring down if you're chipping away at her. No matter the cost for a spender here? All right, so we have a Venom Blast. He's going to take 2 from there.
He is using no matter.
Miles is. Looking at a sacrifice here, because realistically, this should take down X23. So if he sacrifices onto Voodoo, all right. Great defense roll there on 2 on 3. Only 1 goes through.
Wow. That's
okay.
Yeah, 2. What is that? 2 crits on 9 dice. Is all he got?
Yep.
Wow.
So now Voodoo's going to slap back into Miles. That was Miles' turn. Didn't work out how he planned. He did end up picking up that cube. We have showing 2 on the attack here, blocking 1 so far. He is holding an objective, so he gets his 1 reroll plus a spider sense, does into a crit, blocks it all. All right, looking at a throw here now. Potentially looking at that. I think, well, he has the Brother Daniel token. I believe he can throw size 3, so he should be able to throw. Oh, it's a people throw. Gotcha. Because he doesn't have a super great line there. Okay. Oof. So throwing Miles Morales into Spectacular Spider-Man there. Spectacular Spider-Man saying, I don't even need Spider Sense. I'll just block it all.
Nope.
That's why he's spectacular. He tries to flip and he does. And then he's going to storm hop off of X23, putting himself in a slightly better position. And going to hit Miles again, showing 4 this time, critting for a 5. Miles blocking 3 out of the gate, can re-roll the skull, only the once. Those wilds stealing 2 power with the sabs off of Miles. And he's going to have 2 go through and he'll daze, or just 1. But he will drop his thing there. So that is a dazed Miles, 2 cubes on the floor. He's gonna...
So cubes, they can hold as many as they want.
Correct. Real high risk, high reward.
And you take the damage, obviously, but there's no like dice penalty or any other.
Oh, thank you, Trid. That is something I forgot. So after the update, he no longer has the regular throw, but he does have a trigger off of his builder, it looks like. Okay. Voodoo will grab a cube from that and take down the leader of the Web Warriors, Mr. Miles Morales. If he was using dice gloves, he'd get it right. What are dice gloves? Oh, Johnny Pastrami, hey, man. Oh, yeah, we didn't catch that. We didn't catch that on the sacrifice. Oh, there was no sacrifice. Okay. That's right, he didn't use the sacrifice there. He just man-moded it anyway. It adds X23. Yeah, you caught me there for a second because I remember being surprised that he didn't, and then it absolutely worked out for him. Yeah. Dice gloves are special gloves for handling the spice from sharp-edged dice. The spikes, I think.
Nah, I like the spice.
No. The spice. Jay Frelinger.
I only roll spicy dice.
Spicy dice. The touch, the spice of dice, the fabric of our lives. Nice, all right. Double move for Black Cat. That is going to put us back over to the X-Men. Yeah, it's Rhino time. Not to be confused with Goofy time. Or Clobber time.
It's not, yeah. More Clobber time.
Oh, is that Alex Botts? Hey, man. Or different Alex. Okay. Rhino's about to do Rhino things. All right, gonna go into a spider. Ooh, 3 skulls. Spider-Man doesn't block the 1, though. Really doesn't block the 1. Last chance. There you go. Oof. Oof. Well, hell yeah, guy. Welcome. Ooh, Dr. D's been talking heavily about some Bushido. Wow, Rhino just not. Yeah. I mean, I think out of 10 dice, that was 4 blanks and 3 skulls. Jeez.
Yeah.
A couple blocks just to round her out. And so what was that? Okay, so Rhino finishing out that round of frustrating attacks by throwing a lamppost at Spider-Man. And he'll take 1 from it.
I find when I'm frustrated, I usually will throw a lamppost at somebody.
Mm-hmm. Do you really throw a lamppost at somebody, or are you just looking around the room? Okay.
I don't know if you've driven around Vegas. There's just a bunch of like places where there were like street signs and lampposts.
Yeah.
Those are ones that I just was like, not today. Not today, dice.
So did try to flip in the center point there. Looks like Ghost Spider. Rolled 2 crits. Good start. Just didn't get that third. Moving on down to Rhino Town. And that'll be it for Ghost Spider, putting her in range of life-saving anyone she might want to. Storm hiding behind that LVO statue. I've got M'Baku on my painting table at the moment, but after listening to the pod, I have the 2 key Brotherhood models to paint, Pyro and Sam. All right. Given Vetti, thank you so much for that follow. Welcome. Once again, if you're just joining us, we are live from the Rio in Las Vegas, Nevada, here for LVO, Frontline Gaming's premier event 2024. Here for the last chance qualifier, here for some Marvel Crisis Protocol. Going into the Invitational tomorrow. Oz Battler, thank you for the follow as well.
And we are here. This is match 3. There are 5 matches today. And we have, I believe, 6 or 7 spots for the Invitational up for grabs here.
Dr. Misclicks, thank you for the follow, guys. All right, cool. Keep coming in. Appreciate the follows, the likes, the subs. YouTube's down below. Feel free to follow that as well. I'm Hex. Thank you, guys. Welcome. Smaddox with 5 gift subs as well. Going to Axel Bullet, Fulos, Lord Com Greg, Wargaming Dab, and Dirt Spoon 69. Well, gee golly.
Thank you so much for that. It's fantastic.
Because I really appreciate that. That 100%. Oh, I can give a community gift? What's this? Oh, gotcha. I just went to that.
I'm just telling you. Someone gave a gift, yeah.
Double walk from storm, flipping the top objective. But yes, gifting subs means we do this more often. 100%. We wouldn't be able to do it without your guys' support. We'll be at Adepticon next, as well as many other events this year, including the Atlantic City Open. There is a Patreon as well, that's right. So if you head over to patreon.com/professionalcasual, any support there is stellar. You get access to all sorts of stuff. Podcasts a week early, video for most of our podcasts. We have 11 different shows here at the network, which you just get more of by being a patron.
Absolutely.
10 to 6 Nate. Round 2. Going into round 3, 10 to 6. X-Men up over Web Warriors. Ironbound, yep, and Everwinter.
Nate could wrap this up in 3 rounds with that.
Yep.
That performance. That's incredible.
Yeah, with 8 potential points on the board, it is doable. Though one of the great things about MCP is as your characters get injured, you can be powered up. You usually have a little bit of a slap back. Miles and Moonlight being the ones that are going to flip going into round 3. Playing one character down is not my fave. Yeah, I certainly get that. He's got that all webbed up turn as well. Yep. We could see a really big clap here. Game is certainly not over.
Absolutely. This is kind of where we've been getting all day. We get to round 3 and it's a couple dice rolls and that determines the direction it's going to go. So
Moon Knight only taking 1 there from a spender from X23. That claw rush, claw whiffing, just kind of giving him a cool breeze. Yeah. So she does get the move off of that. Looks like she will take that opportunity to go down closer to the Spectacular Spider-Man and Ghost Spider. Got a nice crowd around the table today. I see Zach, Cohen, Dayton, who we saw last year, during the first round of the qualifier, I believe, or first round of maybe second round of qualifier. All right, we have a builder into Spectacular Spider-Man here. Spider-Man blocking 1, looks like 2. We do have all sorts of rerolls from Spectacular Spider-Man, and he will block it all. A lackluster turn from X23, who probably should have gone on a killing spree there. She does fast heal. Less of a claw rush and more of a blah rush. Got him. Is this where we see all webbed up? Moon Knight gets some more power via his personality, being so powerful. And what does he do with that power? He's on 9 power. Interesting that he chose to attack Spidey and not Moon Knight. I think after that first whiff with the spender, maybe. Spidey also only has 1 stamina left. So I think that the goal was to try to take out both, potentially. Vincent Kirchhoff with his, what do you call it, iconic purple hat, bringing Nate some coffee. What a good guy. All right, here we have the all webbed up. Domino, Voodoo, and X-23 all being webbed. This is going to give any web warrior 2 additional attack dice against any slowed target this round. Moon Knight's throwing croissants, turning into 2 6-dice physical attacks, assuming he gets the trigger. Nine dice coming into Domino from the spender. We're avataring of Khonshu here. Uh-oh. Well, that's 3 crits.
Looks good. 3 crits and a hit.
Oh, against Domino. Yeah, okay. Blocks 2, takes 2. Yeah, those Dominoes not being able to crit against Domino, that is rough.
Yep.
Oof.
Not the time you want to be rolling all your crits.
So then he gets the place within 1 of Domino, and I believe he gets a push because he did damage. Which then puts him in range of Dr. Voodoo. So then he can piggyback off of Dr. Voodoo to do all sorts of dope stuff.
Yep.
Now Voodoo's going to be at 6, I believe, Mystic defense here. Throwing crescents into Voodoo. Voodoo blocks 2. He's doing 4. Oh, gets Domino. Okay. So that is a throwing croissants taking down Domino. Croissant, Jimmy's mom. So today's Domino from throwing from Moon Knight is at Oh, great call. So we had 4 power left. He assumes Moon Knight's probably going to be going and getting KO'd this round. So he's using advanced R&D to swap that out to his teammates. Giving up to 5 power away. He had 4 on him, and he gave it to Ghost Spider, Black Cat, Miles, and Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah, at least he got the Domino. Toad is hanging out there all by him lonesome, way up there. In the upper right. If you were really looking to find out where he was, I wouldn't be able to show you because I don't have the drawing thing set up. Hi, Chick. Yeah, sorry about last time, man. Oh, we already had it set up. Okay, so annotate and draw, interact. So if you really wanted to kind of figure out where Toad was, he'd be right here-ish. So we'll draw a little frog just so kind of everyone knows that this is where Toad is. There's the face and the eyes and a Toad smile. All right, so we have Voodoo going to Spectacular Spider-Man now.
Toad smile.
And he is also going to go down. With 2 wilds being able to grab some of that power beforehand. It's Tom Tentacle drawing, listen, you come to the right place. Okay, so Voodoo is also going to possess Black Cat here. This is going to have her drop anything that she's holding, and she cannot hold or contest objectives until that token is off of her. Only ways to get that off currently are for Voodoo to pull it off, or for Voodoo to get dazed now. After the update, it automatically goes back upon Dr. Voodoo. So now Voodoo has 2 cubes. And behind this dazed Domino, there was... Oh, never mind. He's not doing that. He's cool, but he's not ice cold.
Way more arrows and pointing at things, that's true.
Yes, once again, Toad is here. I think this is Storm. They're dead center. This is a cube. This is a Rhino. Oh! It broke. Oh no. The table. It's broken.
You're doing great. Keep it up. These tables are how I make my living.
All right, Rhino is going to get pulled here towards a Ghost Spider in this general direction. Ghost Spider here. Rhino now here. But he's still contesting the objective.
You have a lot of fun with that one.
I do. So I think Adepticon the first year we were drawing like corn cob monsters and things from people. It was a blast.
Corn cob con.
Corn cob con. All right. Looks like the entourage is going the other way.
Too easy for the X-Men.
So we're gonna, I believe, kick some Rhino here with 2 crits. Showing 4-3, so just the one is gonna go through, even with the Rhino hide. But still, it's gonna get her power. It's gonna give him 2 though. And he is going to aggressive off and through, potentially. Nope, just getting really deep on that point. And once again, rolling pretty hot with Gwen, but blocking 2 has only 1 go through. So we could aggressive again here. So that's, I mean, giving Rhino 4 power because of that ornery. Rough. Chicago, Illinois, 60652. Take a bite out of crime.
Have you listened to the album?
No, I have not.
It is available. You should listen to it.
So that was not a successful flip there, right? All right.
I'll send you a link to the group chat tonight.
What's that?
I'll send you a link to the group chat tonight.
All right, good. Heard they were F tier now. Yeah, F tier for fantastic. Fantastic top 4. I don't know about that one.
X-Men is top 4 most played.
It is a heavily played faction. By Danny? Also, a huge shout out to the TO crew here at LBO 2024, including Tyson, the man on the throne who made the throne as well, along with Danny, Alexa, and of course, Charles, Mr. Omnis Protocol. Get ready for the Oops All X-Men after the March release? Yeah, for real. Gonna gore. Oof, nothing there. He's gonna get sprung here as he pops off of Miles Morales within range 1 from the gore. And I'm gonna throw that Science 3 building into Black Cat. This is 4 automatic damage. She's going to have to make a dodge roll here. And she only blocked 1 out of the 4, so she's taking 3. And that black cat is no more. Oh, and when she's dazed, Dr. Voodoo gets the token back as well. That very much is a Rhino activation. Do we think Nate is able to win this round? So Storm has that top one. He has all 3 Meteors. He's scoring 6 right now. Dr. Voodoo has 2 cubes. Rhino has a cube. So he's scoring 7. 17 in 3 rounds. Was that a Street Fighter KO? Yes, it sure was. It's now on the sound alerts for Fifth Redemptions.
Edmund, that is a great question. I think we should ask Nate that question if we get him on here for an interview.
What was that? I'm curious what's Nate's plan is against Guardians. Ooh, yeah, let me write that down. Against Guardians. Great question, sir. I'm going to web line kick X23. She's blocking enough. Oh, no, she's blocking 1, but not a stellar attack roll either. That is 4 blanks, 2 blocks on an attack. Poor guy. Nate's putting on a clinic. Yeah, for real.
This is the number 1 X-Men player, and we are seeing why.
And we are going to get that middle point flipped, so that still has Nate winning, scoring 6 points. He needs to knock somebody out that is holding some stuff. Going into Voodoo here. Voodoo apparently deciding not today as he pops off and gets 3 blocks. But he is going to take 3 here from this, looks like. And that drops 2 cubes. Looks like we're getting around 4.
All right, there we go. So Spider Foe's keeping this game going.
Mm-hmm. Does he pick up any of the... Oh, gotcha. Miles not close enough to pick this up. If Storm can pick up both of those cubes, game is still in hand. Fab Argy Pop. Thank you for the follow. I mean, it looks like she's within range of the next one, too. Potentially being able to storm hop. Or just move. Okay. I'm going to try to flip the middle. And gets it. And that's game.
Wow. 3 rounds. Wow. Here we were. Round 1, we were like, it's a nice even game. And all of a sudden,
16-7.
Wow.
Okay.
Heck of a job by Nate here. 3-0 now.
Well, and I mean, you got to expect that, right? Against the number 1 ranked X-Men
absolutely. The big question I have is how he's not qualified for the Invitational. That's kind of what watching him play as well. Like
that's the thing. When you're going out to these events, some are points events, some are automatic qualifiers. Usually earlier in the season are the full qualifiers, especially at bigger events, and they're competitive, right?
Yep.
X-Men only kind of really came into their own again here recently after the 2023 card update.
Gotcha.
So, which really kind of reworked how a lot of the X-Men work. Now, granted, and this is kind of the important thing here, especially kind of showing Nate's talent, is that Storm actually kind of took a little bit of a hit. So we've actually seen a huge downturn in Storm being used as the affiliation leader. Now that Cyclops is significantly more popular, more powerful.
Absolutely.
So the fact that Cyclops, I don't even believe, is in his roster.
Yeah.
And he went hard with Storm.
Wow.
A great...
Looks like it's working out. Looks like a great call. He's 3-0 now, 2 rounds away, and that's I think what we're going to see in this 4th and 5th match here is we're going to see people who we're gonna say the same thing. We're gonna be like, how are they not qualified for this invitation? We're gonna see some real good play here, and especially that in that final round when you could have been 4-0 up to that point, and you could lose in this last round and get knocked out. It's a high pressure situation.
It really is.
It's not really single elimination, but it kind of feels like it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, especially as you get more and more people here. It always depends on how many spots are left. But the thing that we always know is the invitational is 64 players.
Exactly.
So you can qualify throughout the year. If you can't make it, can't make it. But listen, if you do qualify, this is certainly the place to be.
Absolutely.
And we see this kind of a lot. There's a bunch of incredibly talented players that are in the LCQ that just didn't get the chance or didn't get that win when they did. And when you have so many other qualified people out there also fighting for that, remember that they've been fighting also some of the best players at all of these events as well. But yeah, so in general, LVOIS is the place to kind of go if you want to run an LVO qualifier or points event. That is the place to sign up for that. You fill out a quick Google form that goes to Tyson, who kind of runs the whole shebang, and that can help kind of continue to grow MCP.
Absolutely, and we do have. Did we want to talk about how we have a couple of those qualifiers for next year coming up?
So if you're in the, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So in February here if you're in the North Carolina or surrounding area, we've got the Cherokee Open. We have a chat command for that.
Yep, so the link there is to the Frontline Gaming store that helps us if you use that particular link. Doesn't cost you anything. Most of Frontline Gaming stuff is already pretty heavily discounted below retail. But you can also pick up your event tickets here. So the Cherokee Open, happening in February in North Carolina, is going to be the next Frontline Gaming event that will have an MCP qualifier. Excellent.
And for those of you out here on the West Coast like myself, a little closer to Vegas, we've got the Rocky Mountain Open coming in March. In Colorado for you. And you can find that information again and tickets right there. Tim just added that in on the stream chat. But we have
Mr. Nate Horn.
We have Mr. Nate Horn here to get interviewed. So I will let him come here and take it away.
Awesome. All righty. But yeah, if you haven't yet, if you're in any of those areas, Frontline Gaming, use that link down below. Rocky Mountain Open and the Cherokee Open. But welcome on, Nate. I was saying as you were coming on before onto the stream table, I was like, I'm pretty certain we talked to Nate last year after a win.
Yep.
But it's good to see you. How you been?
Yeah, I've been good.
So chat's been absolutely blowing up. A bunch of questions I need to ask.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So we'll get to that. Yeah, let's start out with that. So as stream was starting and we saw the Web Warriors matchup, chat was talking about your tactics specifically about how to go into Web Warriors, and it seemed to work very, very well here. One of the follow-up questions was, how is your plan going into later rounds of the LCQ and potentially the Invitational about going into Guardians? Do you have a similar setup to get around that matchup?
Yeah, so in general, my list has actually become, over time, it's become more and more of a fighting list. X-Men, I used to play them very heavy on scenario. And since the Storm nerf, that's been much harder to do.
Yeah.
Because before, the plan with Storm was to grab stuff and run away, and the Storm cover made your stuff live through things it probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Right? Changing that into a reroll means you can't hold on to the extract lead like you could. Right? So with having Ultron 2 in there, having, I played a couple games today where it's Ultron plus Domino plus X-23 plus Logan. That is a lot of attrition. Yeah. I have exceptional healing and Age of Ultron to protect key models there. So I'm actually way better at fighting than I've ever been before as an X-Men list.
Yeah.
And so in Guardians, it's not like an easy game, but I have the right tools to be able to just fight them. Yeah, and actually Web Warriors has been a bigger problem for me than Guardians and fighting teams have been.
Okay. All right. So very specific. So how does that, because you played X-Men for a long time, you're the number one ranked X-Men player.
Yep.
How does changing kind of the format of how X-Men have played traditionally, going from that kind of hiding in the shadows a little bit and heavily making use of cover to being kind of murder bots?
Yeah. So it was definitely, it took me probably a month or two of just weekly game nights and practice to really understand how impactful the Storm nerf was and what I need to do differently. And luckily, at the same time, we got Ultron 2, who is an incredible boon for X-Men, right? Because Ultron 2 is a model that can do everything, except he has no mobility. right? He's got throws, he's got controls, he's got damage, he's got durability. He's good at all parts of the game, except he just has to walk and attack reasonably often. But if you give him the Storm Hop, he's everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, because he really is a turret. Like, if you don't have to move him and you can just keep blasting, like that, and that Storm Hop, goes a long way for that.
So at second win in October, I tried out Ultron 2 because right after Paradox came out and loved it, right?
Yeah.
And so having him has made it easier to switch to attrition because he enables that game plan a lot. Without him, I think it'd be a very different story, and I'd probably be more down on X-Men, but he's really holding up what I'm trying to do.
Do you find yourself, have you played any Weapon X games today? I did see Logan in there in X-23.
No, I did think about it as a potential option for Web Warriors because Storm is only okay in that matchup.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I just overload on Claw people. But what we found out like a week and a half ago that made the Web Warriors problem better was the addition of Rhino.
Yeah.
Right? So I was doing Voodoo and Pyro before as my two kind of steals and head pyrotechnics, and that felt okay, but it felt bad when they won Prio because then they can steal the middle one and back up, so I'm hurting behind. And Pyro steal was just a little bit too slow to get going, and the game would be over by the time you could like set up, get somebody incinerated, get someone in range. It's like, oh, what if I just put in Rhino and Voodoo, and now I have like Rhino steal is online immediately.
Correct.
Right, and so that addition has helped out a lot.
So another question from Tier is
it's bots.
ask Nate who his most reliable podcast co-host is who is not at LVO.
Well, it might surprise you to learn that is bots. He was the only one of us not able to make it this time, so I appreciate him cheering me on from the stream.
I didn't mute you. You're in my ear, Ben. So we have this other microphone that I've been using to talk to Taylor, and Ben Rev Right Mad just got a hold of it, and I had no idea where that voice was coming from. But yeah, so speaking of that podcast, we talk about Alfredo's Size 3 Taco Truck.
That's the one.
It has you, Vince, Alex Botts. Who are some of the other members of that particular group?
Yeah,
sometimes it gets pretty expanded, I believe.
Yeah, well, so there's 4 of us who are hosting the podcast, right?
Yeah.
So it's me, Pat, Vince, and Bots, right? And it was exactly one time our friend Kevin had to sub in for me because my internet died mid-recording. Oh, gotcha. But generally, we don't, we've had guests on like when Zach won Second Wind.
Yeah.
The winner of Second we usually invite on. But otherwise, we usually just keep it to the 4 of us. Just mostly because we like hanging out with each other a lot in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just have a good rapport together.
And when you get a certain tone, right? Like,
but we do have a rather large Discord community with a bunch of our very good friends who are always very active. Like when you go to events, my Discord's just like blowing up with people cheering for me, right? It's the best, right? Our community is incredible. I love all those guys, right? And so that's kind of where you get into the wider world. They're not really on the podcast, but they're actually part of the Alfredo's community.
Well, it's like, so the first several times I saw Zach, he was always wearing an Alfredo shirt. So I was like, oh, I think Zach's part of that group.
Yes.
And it's such a cool design too. Like, to see those out in the wild is actually very cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about your first 2 matchups. What'd you run into round 1 and 2, and do you have any close calls?
Yeah, so those were both fighting plans. So it was X-Force in round 1 with like Wolverine, Colossus, Cable, Psylocke, Mordo, who I think is really cool in X-Force. And then round 2 was fighting, it was Gamma Virus against New Steve with Thor, Luke Cage, Voodoo, and Iron Man. So both of those matchups were very much the brawly thing, right? And that's one where I feel more comfortable, certainly, right? Because my list is designed to brawl. It's really hard to punch through an Ultron who has age and a bunch of healing factor characters who have exceptional and sacrifice, right? They're definitely were not trivial games, right? Like the X-Force game in particular, his turn 1 went really well. I was down 5-1, and he had dazed my X-23 because he had like Cable with Cat and Mouse plus a fastball special, lets you do a lot of work turn 1.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was scary, and I had to claw my way back into that one, but I did manage to stabilize it.
But so that's impressive just to hear that a fastball special just in general was number 1 used, and number 2 made things a little dire. Yeah,
I think that card is very good. It can be tricky to fit into 5 because you only want to play Colossus in the right matchups, but in those like fighting on fighting games, he's great there, right?
Well, and to have that too, since we've seen kind of a recent uptick in Colossus since the card pack update, it brings that card much more into potential use.
Yeah, like his turn 1 was Wolverine walks forward. He got fastball special into my X-23, did like 3 damage or 4 damage, and then got to do a mortar boosted 7-die builder into X-23. That's a lot of damage, you know? And like, he also could have had 2 cable shots. Cable went elsewhere to do work, but like, if you think about getting shot by Cable twice, Cable maybe throws something at you, then a fastball, then a builder from Wolverine. It's a lot. You have to be very careful about X-Force's turn 1.
Yeah, and especially since they've kind of been reworked a little bit too. Granted, Cable is, I'm very happy with where Cable is now. And the extra, what is it called? Best there is at what I do or whatever, where Wolverine now counts that on both the builder and the spender.
Yes, and it only costs 2, so it's way more available. Yes.
Well, awesome. Is there anything that maybe in the last couple weeks that you kind of introduced into this roster that, or has this one been unlocked for a little bit?
It's outside of the Rhino thing that we talked about. The rest of those models have been pretty locked up. Honey Badger is a semi-new addition. After Rhino, it was Honey Badger got added. And that's just more for, it helps with the fighting on fighting stuff, right? Being able to taunt into her, being able to redirect attacks. And it helps with the points math, right? But there's nothing special going on there. It's just like, Honey Badger is affiliated, she's a 2, she's fine. And you're stacking a bunch of other healing factor characters, it feels good, but that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations, man. You know, are you going to be running the same exact roster in the Invitational, assuming you get to that spot? Hell yeah. So that's been the answer for everyone today. I really like that. I think the game's in such a great spot right now because we used to see like, well, I'm going to run Web Warriors for this just so I can get the invite, and then I'm going to switch to this. But everything being kind of on a very nice keel right now, I think it's great for the game, and it's good to see.
Yeah, and especially when you're getting into these like very high-level competitive games, familiarity is, I think, the most important thing. Like, I've talked to a bunch of people where, like, even, you know, you show up Friday night or Thursday night, you're talking to your friends, and somebody comes with like a great idea, it's like, oh, swap this for that. You still should be careful if you're not very like familiar with the play pattern of the model, right? Because it's not trivial, and those like little micro decisions you learn about how to optimize a model matter a lot in winning games, like those very tight games, right? And so,
especially if you swap something out with like a tool set that you're used to having reliably, and
so I think that feeds into people wanting to keep playing the same roster because that familiarity is super important.
All right, how many CGRs do you think we're going to be seeing tomorrow?
A bunch. I mean, it's going to be CGR and webs are almost certainly going to be the most common things, right? I think they're the best 2 factions in the game right now. It's the best fighting team, the best scenario team, right? They're at the extremes there. So, I don't know, 8. I'll guess 8. 8?
8 out of 64, I think, is pretty reasonable. Now, Beta Ray Bill, on the other hand.
A lot more,
So we took a poll earlier in chat on where we're going to see more CGRs or Beta Rays in rosters across the whole, and it was like 97% to 3 Beta Ray Bill.
It's going to be Bill,
Well, all right, dude. Well, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations. Good luck. Oh,
can I plug something?
You absolutely can.
Okay, excellent. I was very happy. So just, yesterday, 2 days ago, we finally got confirmation from the venue for the team event we're going to be running in Chicago.
Okay.
It's called Squad Goals.
Squad Goals.
If you go to squadgoalsmcp.com, you can see the website. It is May 18th and 19th. It is 3-man teams. All the rules for team construction are up there on the website. We hope to have registration open soon. There will be slots for 32 teams of 3 players. And we're hoping to get a lot of people, right? The venue is great. It's a game store in Chicago. It has a ton of space for us. They've been very, very easy to work with. Venues are usually a huge pain. This one's been great. So anybody interested in playing team tournaments, right? A lot
Which we've seen at a lot of events, an incredibly popular format.
Yeah, it is. And I think, so I have been to the WGC before, and I like that event a lot. And I think we deserve to have a team event of that caliber in the United States.
I completely agree.
Because the amount of people in the US who actually get to make it to WGC it's really hard. It's expensive. Sometimes they limit the slots by country, right? It gets kind of exclusionary who can and can't go. And I think more people should be able to play in those like premier big team events. So I decided to make my own. Right? So squadgoalsmcp.com. May 18th and 19th. Put that in your calendar.
Okay, yeah, we'll absolutely add it to our calendar. And that's a great spot, too. Being in Chicago, West Coast, East Coast can get there. Anyone in the Midwest. It's a very convenient place, similar to Adepticon. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. But that's great, man. Well, once again, Alfredo's Size 3 Taco Truck. What's the website? I know it's not Alfredo's Size 3 Taco Truck.
Just Google that. It's on like Libsyn. It's a weird URL, but if you find that, you'll find our Twitter account or our Discord and all that. So just Google that. And we should talk if you want to stream at Squad Goals. We should have that conversation.
So, I find myself going to Illinois a lot more than I have been recently. So I don't think we have anything that weekend. But
I understand it's a commitment, but I want to put that idea in your head because we'd love to have you.
Consider me interested.
Okay, awesome.
All right. But good seeing you, man.
Yeah, great talking
to you. Best of luck on the rest of the time. And guys, so we are going to be going into round 4 at my computer's still East Coast time at 4 p.m. Pacific. We're actually going to get a little bit of a real break here instead of tag teaming each other out to run and peak quick. So that's actually pretty exciting. But as you just heard Nate Horn say, May 18th to 19th in Chicago is going to be Squad Goals, a new I believe he said 3-player team tournament. 32 teams heading into Chicago. Make sure to head to squadgoalsmcp.com for more information on that. Tickets aren't open yet, but they will be here in just a little while. So make sure to keep an eye on that. I'm signed up for 3 in 2024. Hell yeah. About to run a pee for 40 minutes. Listen, we are too.
Same, yeah.
We did it.
What was that?
I just set up the table.
Oh, I appreciate you.
I was not going to do it, but I was like, for Tim.
Well, actually, while you're here, because we have a decent amount of time before the next round, you want to pop on quick? All right.
I'm out again.
I'm getting Richie his steps in today.
I'm getting my steps. That's good. That's good. I can sit down for a minute.
You do.
Oh my God. So if you're on TV, you can't.
So we are joined here for the next little bit by one of the main TOs of LVO 2024 and a major part of the last couple of years of LVO is Mr. Omnis Protocol himself, Charles. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm here with Tim, who's literally my favorite Tim.
Listen, I'm not even my top 5 favorite Tims, but I appreciate that.
Nice. How's streaming going?
Very good. Numbers have been great. Chat's been fantastic. Lots of people rooting for both sides every game. And
Sweet.
I want to thank you for the matchup that you've been sending over. We've gotten to see a wide dearth of affiliations, very good players, and matchups. It's been absolutely stellar so far.
I was really trying to give you horrible, uninteresting games, and the players have just exceeded expectations, and so I apologize that I dropped the ball.
Listen, you can't be on the ball and everything all the time, right? But so tell me a little bit about, we had 72 players for the LCQ today?
I think it was 74.
74?
Yeah. Right in that range. And it's been really cool because we also have the affiliation battle going on, and we've had 3 scrambles fired.
So I keep hearing the scrambles fire too, and I gotta say, it's very nice to see the, I've talked about this a couple times on stream so far today.
Yeah.
How on time everything is running, and when something needs to get done, you hear your voice somewhere in the hall, and people listen and they get going and they get to their stuff. This has probably been the most on time thing that I've run that I've seen so far. As far as listen, 2 o'clock every 2 hours on the hour, we're getting it done.
Last round, it fired 3.5 minutes late, and I'm actively upset about it. 3.5 minutes. That is unacceptable by my standards. So we're gonna be back on. But
all right.
There was just one of those games that it was they were running over on time, but I looked at it. I'm like, I feel like we can actually have this game resolve in a way that everybody will be happy in just a couple more minutes. And so I wanted to give that to the players. But it's doing great. The whole LVO community is just really fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it is an easy event to judge.
So I do see, because you can see here from the stream table, a pretty stellar prize table with some really dope trophies.
Yeah, I'm really excited. AMG gave us their acrylic template sets.
Yeah.
So all the undefeated in this event in the LCQ, anyone who goes undefeated in this is going to get the AMG acrylic template set.
They're so cool looking.
The webline one?
Yeah.
Oh man, shut it down. Shut it down. Too good. And so, I'm really happy that we were able to, have some cool stuff like that for these players. Because even, who knows, you can go undefeated in this, but now you got a tough day tomorrow in the Invitational. But you're going to have that little extra something hey, you were a rock star in the Invitational. So well done, you. You know who you are. You did great.
So any cool instances of stuff that you've seen out there? Because I'm sure you've talked to pretty much everyone at this point, right? Registering for the event.
Little bit. There's been some interesting interesting judge calls. Like Ultron is a really good character, obviously, and he has some interesting timing things that we had to make some rulings on.
Which I thought was very cool that you addressed that right at the start, so everyone knew from minute one.
Yeah, I don't want to do it mid-game where someone can't figure out what to do now, like they are in this situation.
Yeah.
And people have been really understanding. There was something that someone did, and they're like, you could do that, but you did it out of order, and so you're past that window. And they're like,
Gotcha.
I get it, totally cool, my mistake. But yeah, it's just a good group of people. And in general, right, the MCP community is a bunch of rock stars. Like,
for real, it's really kind of a stellar group of people.
How has stream chat been? Have you got a lot of interaction?
Yeah, we have. So we've had a lot of people on both sides cheering for one person or another. It's one of the really cool things about some of the MCP communities here, right? We have a whole bunch of guys from New Jersey, a bunch from Chicago, a bunch from Arizona, a bunch from the West Coast and East Coast. So there's a lot of people popping up in chat, really rooting for the people from or their friends or that couldn't make it and stuff like that. So it's been really stellar so far. We did a poll earlier. How many, if we thought we were going to be seeing more.
Were you dancing on the pole? Was it Taylor?
Well, it was obviously Taylor. I mean, have you seen that guy?
Yeah, okay.
But whether we were going to be seeing more CGRs or Beta Ray Bills tomorrow. And
interesting.
So someone had brought it up in chat, and I was like, let's make a poll out of it. I'm pretty certain everyone knows which way it's going to go. And it was like a 97 percentile for Beta Ray Bill for tomorrow.
Yeah, I would say if I had to take a pick, like, I haven't looked at the rosters at all yet.
Yeah.
But my guess would be somewhere in the range of 33 to 40% play CGR. Yep. And I think if Bill is not above 75%, people are making mistakes.
So Lord Comgreg says, "Hi, Omnis. I remember grabbing water for you at a Adepticon."
My bro! Oh, man, that was such a funny moment because I was in the middle of playing my last game. Yeah. I lost on stream in round 5.
Oh,
right?
Like Adepticon 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he's referring to. And then I was playing in the last round, and I was out of water. And I needed to hydrate. I was like, I'm closing out this event with a win. And Lord Comgreg was just standing there, and I was just like, water bottle. I was like, please. And he was just like, I'm pretty sure I would not have won that game without Lord Comgreg.
That's incredible. So, and Lord Comgreg is brothers with Art from the Pork Roll Protocol, who's here today as well, cheering on his brother. Last year at LVO, we had Art Watch, where Greg kept coming into chat and being like, well, how's Art doing? And Alyssa
Tell me about Art.
Alyssa would run to the table and get the current score and come back over. It was actually really dope.
Oh, yeah, no, that's super cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this closes out, see who gets in. We had a really fun time last year. There was 1, 3, and 2 who made it in last year.
Yeah.
And to like see that person who was just like not expecting to get in and just be there and be part of that moment. And I'm curious what tonight will be like.
Yeah.
And how many people will like, how many people we get to add, and like what will that?
Do we have an update there, by the way?
How many people? We're at 7 or 8 will make it in.
Okay.
So far, I have a whole check sheet I'm going through, just to be very, very precise. Everyone checks in with me. If you've got someone that you're rooting for, and you're just like, hey, if you're already in the invitational, make sure they've checked in with Omnis, because just going down that list, right?
Yeah.
Like making sure who's there, going to see who can still get in. It's gonna be a blast. There's some faces that I recognize from other games that are now here at this one, where I'm like, oh man, like there's a guy who won like LVO War Machine like 4 years in a row playing in the Invitational.
Okay.
And so it's like, I don't know if any of these MCP players know this guy or how much he's played MCP, but I'm like, I recognize him, and he's a next level. And so I think there could be some upsets.
And I could see that too, because what we've seen is when you look at some of the higher level competitors at some of these events, I feel like a lot of them, like a big overwhelming majority, maybe not majority, but have heavy Guild Ball experience, have heavy War Machine experience. So there's a lot of those skills transferred.
Like, there was a bunch of, what was the Star Wars dice game?
Destiny?
There was a big group of Destiny players who came into the game too. we kind of took, I'm going to say it, I feel like we took the best of the best from like almost every other game, and we were like, we will adopt you. Welcome to the MCP community.
It's a very welcoming community too. Especially for those that feel disenfranchised by like playing like a GW game and just being like, every opponent is not fun to play against. Polar opposite here at MCP.
Well, and I mean, I don't know if I've ever said it on your show, but I still remember my first demo. I walked into Mox Bellevue on a demo day. The game had not been out that long. Ended up playing against someone I actually knew for my demo, right? Actually, someone I'd lived with. Someone I'd roommated with.
Yeah.
And we played a demo, and I immediately was just kind of like, this is what having fun playing a game is like.
Yes.
And I was just, I'm in, and you can lose MCP and have an absolutely amazing experience.
Incredibly accurate. Yep.
My still like another frontline gaming event. I was at Lone Star Open last year.
Yeah.
And still, my loss to Zach Cohen in the top 8 on Sunday. It's still one of my favorite games of all time, and that was a loss.
Yeah.
You know,
and I think that's a huge takeaway, right? Like just in general about the whole vibe of MCP as a whole. It's very stellar. If you're not a part of it, do it. Easy.
So Tim,
yes,
if you got to pick an affiliation,
yes,
or you got to pick 2 affiliations to see in the finals, what would you could handpick? Dream situation for Tim. Any 2 affiliations. Can't be a mirror match. I'm going to say no mirror.
Okay.
You gotta pick.
All right. So I highly doubt that this could happen, but who knows?
Doesn't matter.
We haven't seen Midnight Suns on stream in a very long time. I would love to see them, but Crime Syndicate, right out of the gate.
Okay.
Really love me some crime, and then
I've heard that about you.
Right.
That's a big thing in New York,
and it really is. You know, it's kind of like you. So like in high school, you have to take a sequence of crime. So it's either crime 102 or the 201 class, which is mostly just embezzlement. Like they're required by law, but
that's fair.
But yeah, maybe some spider foes.
That would be sweet. We'd be speaking the same language. We got to see new Doc, Doc Ock 2, you know, Sinister Scientist on the finals table. That would be. I'm going to be sitting there with a beer anyway.
Right. Yeah,
you know, I'm going to be sitting there. I'm going to be on that other end of that table, watching, keeping my eye on everything. And man, if there was Doc Ock on that table, so good, so good.
Lord Comgreg, so we've seen Hellfire today. So Hellfire has been represented and won round 2. So I don't know how their third round went. But, I mean, they certainly very well still could be in it.
Is he wanting Hellfire, or he's talking Dormammu?
He wants both Hellfire and Dark Dimension. So I don't know if there's any Dormammus out there.
Yeah.
I have seen the physical model out there, but that could be for affiliation or any sorts of other things. But yeah, even the affiliation battle looked like it was going pretty well today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we've got Carl, right? From Carl of CarlCon fame, right? Playing Hellfire Club. So it would not surprise me to see Hellfire do really well overall. Like, honestly, I'm going to go so far as to say I would be a little surprised if we don't have one Hellfire in the top 8 of the Invitational. I feel like Hellfire is just a strong affiliation. So,
and we have a 3-0 in humans player out there still as well.
Nice.
Cool.
Wakanda is actually in a really good spot, and I think there are some people, I don't want to speak for players that maybe haven't announced what they're playing, but there are top tier players representing Wakanda.
That is accurate.
So I'm excited to see how they're doing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No Dark Dimension or Hellfire in affiliation. Yep. Yes. I always forget that. I'm like, I could just do this.
A little difficult to make that work, but yeah. So I think to answer my own question, I think I'm with you on Spider Folks.
All right.
I want that Doc Ock. Man, I think if I could have, I'm gonna say Spider Foes and Asgard. Spider Foes, Asgard on a wide scenario where we could just get to see
scrums all over the place.
Yeah, just like all these little battles that everybody's trying to like, I need to come out ahead over here, like something like that. I think that would be a really super interesting finals, and I would be so hyped. I wouldn't even know who to root for. Right? Yeah.
Well, that's ideally, right? At the end of the day, that's what you want. You want some 20-threat game that goes wide with a bunch of slugfests. It goes probably close to time. That makes it for a great final.
You know, what would be kind of cool, right? Because with Red Skull 3, right? You know, he's put Cabal back on the radar in kind of a really interesting way. And they've always had really solid classics like Zemo and whatnot. And then like New Ultron, very good, right? What if we got like a classic throwback year one matchup and we got Wakanda Cabal? Like the beginning of competitive MCP, but it's back with like a little bit of new love, right? You got M'Baku, who's been a character I've wanted since the beginning of the game. I've been like it's been M'Baku and Yondu.
Yondu, dude, is way up there for me. Yes.
Like those have been my two for the longest time. We finally have M'Baku. And it'd be really cool to see that on the top table and then like represent like Red Skull. I'm back. You forgot about me, but I'm still the OG.
Crunched.
I'm the OG villain, right? That would be awesome.
Nasala plays in a good meta choice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how excited I was because we got the spoilers, right, for both T'Challa and Killmonger being leaders in the new Wakanda box. Yeah. So I was like, that ruined all hope for me to have M'Baku as a leader. And then he came out and I was like, okay.
Our Lord and Savior.
And that character is just so fun to play. All over the board, doing all sorts of stuff.
I'm also just a shout out to Winston Duke.
Yeah.
Guy, I'm pretty sure I have the name right. Winston Duke played M'Baku. Man, I just love that guy. I even loved him in Spencer Confidential.
Yeah, right.
Like Winston Duke is just such a charismatic guy. He brings so much of that character that it just makes me love M'Baku that much more.
Like for real, and he was I feel he stole a lot of the show in both movies. Granted, I'm a huge Michael B. Jordan fan and Killmonger fan, so I was like, yo, let's go.
Yeah, when you have someone like Chadwick Boseman, who's one of the most charismatic, enchanting individuals of our whole generation, right? And then you're like, but there's Michael B. Jordan and Winston Duke, and these are just three of the best actors of an entire
They only hire
generation.
people with 18s and charisma, apparently.
Yeah. You're just like, you're looking at these guys and you're like, ooh, you rolled your stats without the DM there, didn't you? Right? You know? You're like,
roll
wait
6,
a minute.
drop the lowest 2, sure. Cool, yeah, all right. Point by, let me check your math.
Wait a second. How many 18s do you have? Oh, man. Yeah, so good.
But, dude, thank you for stopping by. I'm excited to have a small 20-minute break here to move my legs, get something to eat.
Stretch a little.
And get something. We are going to be back at 4 p.m. Pacific for round 4 of the LCQ. 2 rounds left today, and then just because I've been saying this all day, I hope this is accurate. 3 rounds tomorrow, 3 rounds Sunday.
Yep, same as before. We're gonna have the long break, so hopefully you guys get to do lots of interviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of interviews. I want to send you everyone who has something to say.
Please do.
Yeah.
But once again, Omnis Protocol, make sure to check them out literally everywhere Omnis Protocol is, which is everywhere MCP is.
Yes.
But all right, dude, thank you for stopping by. And guys, we'll see you very shortly, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Very difficult for me as an East Coaster to not say specific time, but I've done it. I haven't messed up once.
I believe in you, and I want to close things out and say the most OP thing that you can do is subscribe to the Professional Casual Network. Boom!
Nice. There you go. Likes, follow, subscribes. All the links are down below too. Guys, we really appreciate it. It helps us do this. And we'll see you in a little bit. And remember, I love you.
Later, nerds.
Tam, you remember when you said that I often make people uncomfortable by violating their personal space? It was hurtful and ruined our bath.
Nuts.